Welcome back, everyone. We give the Take 3 crew a break today, a break from politics, and why not celebrate St. Patrick's Day and March Madness with a little basketball talk. No better person here to talk about it than the man who's led the turnaround at the University of Toledo from the depths of which we would have never imagined. Head coach Todd Kowalczyk is here on Conklin and Company. Welcome to the show, first timer.
Thanks, Lee.
3 years, you finally made it, Coach.
You know we had a good season if I was invited to be on this show.
Congratulations on the MAC West Division Championship. Has the commissioner talked to you since you said, I could care less about what he had to say about that? Has he extended an olive branch to you, Coach?
I have not spoken to the commissioner once about this whole situation, and I think they kind of got out of play a little bit.
Okay, overblown. But you can't take the wins away from your ball club.
Yeah.
In the way they played in the face of what has been an incredible amount of adversity over the last 3 years. When you came here, Coach, is this where you expected to be or not?
Well, I can tell you this. I didn't know the depths of the issues and problems. You know, the shape of the program was, I would say, much worse than I anticipated. The actual job itself is a lot better job than I anticipated. It's a great, you know, obviously with the facilities, but more importantly, the infrastructure at the institution with Lloyd Jacobs and Mike O'Brien and the leadership that we've had. Plus, this community is a basketball, you know, supportive community. So it's a better opportunity than I thought. I think we certainly are on track. Are we at where we want to be? No, but we're probably a lot further along than I probably thought we would be, considering the situation we inherited. You
know, for the folks who don't follow basketball closely, we don't want to get too much inside basketball here, but I mean, this program 3 years ago won 4 basketball games.
Correct.
I mean, 4 basketball games. And over the course of a couple of years, you go over the 500 mark, and then you win a division championship with quite a few restrictions, Coach.
Yes, and that was probably the biggest thing that we're proud of, is the restrictions that we had in the penalty structure from the NCAA that we inherited. You know, the lack of practice time. We lost games. You know, we had a 10-day delay to our season. That really hurt us to start the season. And when we lost games itself, we chose to lose home games. So we started out with 8 out of 9 on the road, which was difficult. And I give our players credit. They dealt with a lot of adversity. They never made excuses. You know, they didn't feel sorry for themselves until after we lost to Western Michigan. I think there was a 24 to 48 hour delay there, but just very proud of where we're at, but certainly far from satisfied.
You know, you point back to that game. A lot was made of that game leading up to it.
It was.
And then after, and I think I saw it in your eyes, and I'm sitting there on the desk watching Dave do the highlights and listening to you, and there was almost a sign of, as if you're saying, wait a minute, we're okay. You really wanted to stop everybody from saying that was a disappointment. But,
it was.
But it seemed like you were encouraged that this thing isn't over yet.
Well, we all make mistakes, and probably my biggest mistake this year was I put too much emphasis on the MAC West Championship, because the only thing we could hang our hat on.
That's the only thing, right?
And I also put too much emphasis on that game. So when we lost that game, I was awfully, and I knew we'd still have an opportunity. I had to convince our guys, hey, listen, you know, Western Michigan is going to lose a game or two. We're still in the hunt. They didn't quite believe me at that point, you know, but they did lose the game, and we took care of business down the stretch, and I'm just very excited for our players, the fact that they had a chance to compete at that level and win a championship.
So here you are, and they did, and you have, and now where do you go from here now?
Well, I think our culture has come so far in such a short period of time, but it's not there yet. It's not to the point we want it to be. So that's going to be a big emphasis this offseason. I think the weight room needs a great deal of work. We got to get bigger. We got to get stronger. Our recruiting, I couldn't be happier with the incoming guys. You know, we essentially have 7 new players coming in, and we only lose Dominic Buckley, 1 guy.
How many scholarship players did you have this year, Coach?
Well, we had 13 scholarships to start the season, but we decided to redshirt a lot of those guys because of the penalties. We ended up playing with 7 scholarship players the entire season. That's all we had, and because of our great medical staff, and because Richard Winnell, who's the best walk-on I've ever been around.
Genoa?
He's from Genoa. He's really saved us in so many ways. We played an 8-man rotation, and we stayed healthy.
Moving forward then, you talk about recruiting. You've reached out now locally. Winnell from Genoa, but you went out and got kids from, well, you got a kid from Napoleon.
Correct.
Right?
Jordan Loff.
And also, you go into a smaller school to get a bigger guy.
Wow.
And you can talk about these kids now. They're in the fold.
Zach Garber had a great year down at Van Loo. We really think that Zach Garber and Jordan Lauf are program guys. They're guys that are tremendous students, great guys from great families, And I tell you what, they're talented basketball players, and they got a little edge to them, a little bit of toughness that we really like.
As you do, I think, that most people would agree you do. Huh?
Well, that's part of
coaching. Is that a
coaching.
compliment?
I absolutely. If you're going to be a successful coach, I can tell you this: you better have that.
And you've always talked about that word grit, and we hear it a lot. But you want your recruiting kids who you say need to have it.
No question. I think you have to have that grit, and you have to have that toughness, and at the same time, you have to have all the other intangibles of being a student first and foremost, and the things that we're looking for.
Of course, the ultimate goal, we're here on Sunday, and it's MAC championship weekend, and it's championship day for a lot of other conferences. The ultimate goal is to get back to the NCAA tournament, and it's been decades since the University of Toledo has done that. And I think that we see the women's program, the support they have, and you continue to march on. You'll get that support here.
No question. It's been since 1980, so it's been
a long time.
It's been a long time. I can probably give you the exact date, but we certainly are striving for that. I think next year, we're going to have a chance and an opportunity to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams heading into the season. And I could tell our players in our weekly meeting, chance and opportunity don't come along very often, but they're just that. It's only a chance. We need to take care of ourselves, get our chemistry a little bit better, and get our overall culture better, and we'll have an opportunity to.
So, we've got an expert here to talk about this bracket, if you have a bracket. Okay, it's championship day today for a lot of teams. The brackets come out tonight. Is it a wild college basketball season, Coach? I know you're focused on your own team, but the whole landscape maybe.
A great college basketball season. You look at the Big Ten. Wow, what a great league with great players and tremendous coaches. I'd anticipate 7, maybe 8 teams getting into the tournament from the Big Ten.
How difficult is it for somebody at so-called mid-major University of Toledo, Bowling Green? There's so much has been made of these big kids in Toledo. Who are moving on to Big Ten schools. How difficult is it for a BG, a UT to break through and get one of those kids?
Oh, we're working at it.
Yeah.
We recruited all those guys, and we certainly wish them well. But and I think they'll all have success. But we'll get to that level where we can have a chance to beat a Wisconsin for some recruits or a Michigan occasionally. Now, will it happen for every guy? No, because obviously there is a perception level difference, right. And I understand that. But at the same time, we want to be a great option for all these local guys.
My son and I went to Bowling Green and watched them play Michigan State earlier on, the non-league season, and Bowling Green or Michigan State struggled to beat them.
Yes.
And here's a team that could be in the Final Four. It's that close, isn't it?
There's no question, especially at the guards. We think that our guards can play with their guards. It's the size and the strength that's a little bit of a difference, but now with Zach Garber and Nathan Booth, we're catching that size difference as well.
And back to the weight room, you said, right?
Oh, no question.
For a long summer for those fellas, but hopefully it'll pay off. UT, lucky to have you. The community, Coach, best of luck.
Thanks, Lee. We love it.
We'll be watching
Thank
on the
you.
road.
Appreciate
Head Coach Todd Kowalczyk. That will do it for this edition of Conklin & Company. We're back next week. Make it a great St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Take care.